At sunrise, 8 people lay dead inside a small white house on a quiet Iowa street, their faces crushed and their beds stained with blood. The weapon was an axe taken from the home's own shed. The scene did not fit a robbery or a tidy motive. It fit only the facts. It was Villisca, Iowa, early June 1912. The occupants were ordinary by any measure. A local businessman, his wife, their children, and 2 young guests who had spent the night. Neighbors remembered a small-town Saturday. Chores, church, the sort of familiarity that makes a place feel safe. The morning that followed looked nothing like that. When neighbors first entered, there was a lamp still burning in the parlor. Rooms were undisturbed in some ways and utterly rearranged in others. Children's clothing lay where they had been the night before. Quilts were pulled over faces in several beds. There were no signs of forced entry on the front door. Windows were closed, curtains buttoned. Blood had soaked mattresses, carpets, and a hallway rug. The same blunt force trauma repeated across 6 adults and 2 children. The axe belonged to the household. It had been used, then abandoned. Investigators cataloged contradictions from the start. A lamp casting light, but no immediate cry for help. A door unlocked, but no clear trail of escape. A neighbor reported seeing a strange man in town the evening before. Another remembered someone leaving the train depot. Footprints were tracked, but later blurred or missing. Several people were arrested and then released. Witness statements diverged on basic details: times, clothing, even whether anyone heard the children. The coroner's report was methodical about injuries and time estimates, and cautious about speculation. The newspapers filled the void with theories. Possible explanations multiplied and never congealed. A lone intruder who knew the house's routines. Multiple assailants moving quietly through rooms. A violent argument that escalated beyond reason. A transient with a history of violence. A wandering serial offender passing through small towns. Each hypothesis accounted for some facts and failed to explain others. The locked door could suggest an intimate assailant or a perpetrator confident enough to leave through a window. The absence of theft suggested motive beyond property. The consistent wounds suggested either a practiced hand or a frenzied single mind. Over decades, the case pulled in detectives, amateur sleuths, and historians. Names were proposed, alibis scrutinized, confessions retracted or dismissed. A few suspects were tried, but convictions did not stick. Scientific techniques changed while the physical traces dwindled, and new examinations raised as many questions as they answered. Oral histories preserved contradictions that documents did not resolve. What endures is a clustered set of unresolved details: the exact timeline of that night, the identity of the person who carried an axe from the shed into sleeping rooms, the motive that prompted 8 lives to be extinguished without a clear pattern linking them beyond proximity. The house still stands. The axe in photographs still lies where it was found. The record contains reports, affidavits, and a trail of uncertainty. After more than a century, the case file remains open.